Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. That was a little low. Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage, who's not in a tank top. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
Your intro was saved by my mute button.
That's it.
Just know that.
How so? What do you mean?
I said something, but my mic was muted.
Oh, well, thank God.
Yeah, it's all good.
Also,
What's good, everybody listening? I'm very happy to be here tonight
you sound unsure.
on Discord with my friends talking about the manga from Sunday.
We're not holding you hostage, bro. That was like, did I say the words right? Yeah. Did you have to memorize the words?
Yes.
Also joining us, it is my producer, my little brother. It is Brian Edgelord. Big news, Brian. Oh man.
You're Josh.
What's up, nerds?
You're Josh Jr.
There's two
Wait,
Joshes.
what would you say? What do you say after you're introduced?
What? Who?
What's up, guys?
Oh
Is
no,
that
he said
you
what up
say?
to everybody listening. That's his sign on.
What up to everybody listening?
Yeah, what's good? Yeah, it's not like
what
that.
Up, what up to Christian?
Hey.
Yeah, I can't say what up, Brian, because you wasn't introduced yet, and Chris catch an attitude whenever I do that. So
What? What? No, I don't.
that's
Damn,
facts. Go
Chris
back.
is
Go
catching
back like 50
strays.
I don't know what's
All
going
right,
on
I'll
here.
pick it up. I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up.
All right.
I'm gonna bring it up. Don't worry about it.
Damn. Is this the last episode?
I gotta write it down. No.
Is this
Are
the
you
episode
falling
where we all
apart?
fall apart? Is this our?
Yeah, I'll just mention it real quick, then we can get on with the show. All right. Look, one time I was like, "What up, Chris? What's good, Brian?" He was like, "Well, I didn't introduce him yet,
Did I?
but yeah, Big Lord knew, yeah." Like
It may have been several hundred episodes
what's up
ago.
with the mojo.
200 episodes.
I learned my lesson very fast.
Well, I'm sorry. I was so.
I didn't want to
rigid.
get a red card.
Well.
I want to get
Oh,
that slip.
card.
Oh well.
I didn't want to get replaced by
I
Money
run
Mike.
I run this city with an iron fist. But hey, we're back for another week of manga goodness. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into plugs. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole _37. That's on Instagram, also where I'm mostly at. And at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. I'm gonna mention my TikTok soon.
You have a TikTok? Oh, you do have a TikTok.
Not really, kinda, but it's soon.
Well, get on his TikTok. Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Oh yeah. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram. Sometimes we post on there, sometimes we don't. Social media is hard, so check us out on there. Maybe sometimes we'll post something quirky or something. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, obviously. You can email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want to talk about. Before the show started, I actually just got a question from Sketchy Mike relevant to One Piece, and I think we'll dig into that. We'll break the rules a little. I know we're backlogged several months, but we'll get to the other ones, but this one we'll get to. But if you guys have any questions about the chapters that you guys want us to answer, you can hit us up at any time, really. And you can subscribe to the podcast. Please do. That would be super nice. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Engagement, folks. That's the name of the game here. Get into it. We answer back to comments, by the way. So get on it. And I think, no, if you like audio versions of the podcast, we are everywhere you listen. Spotify, iTunes, fucking Google Podcasts. There's unknown podcast tubes that we are on somehow that I don't know. I don't remember signing up for. So wherever you could possibly listen to a podcast, we are on there. With that being said, I think that's it for real. Spoiler alerts ahead. We have a really good chapter of the week poll. Happens every week on our YouTube page in the community section. We get a lot more votes there than Twitter, weirdly enough. I guess Elon broke it so bad that we had to move to YouTube. So check us out on YouTube and vote for your chapter every week. Your favorite. We have 4. I forgot to include Chainsaw Man. Sorry. I literally remembered it came out before the show. So yeah, we have 4 series. I know the winner now, and get into it. But with that being said, let's get into the show. One Piece. Yes. This is One Piece chapter 1069. All things are brought into this world with hope.
Alternate title chapter. He has been named. Or should I say mentioned?
Well, we got a little cover page update, and I'm not really sure what it means. I remember this guy. Somehow. I remember his face. I don't exactly remember where he's from, but this is I don't remember. I just remembered his design, and I was like, oh, where do I know this guy from? Dufeld.
Do you, Brian?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, look up Dufeld for us, Brian. He sounds
So you don't know
familiar.
who that is then?
No, why would I know who the fuck that is?
Yeah.
Christian's the encyclopedia of One Piece.
Brother, man. Like,
My encyclopedia is not as strong as it used to be. I can't remember Dufeld. I'm a failure.
you still know who this person is.
Deep down inside, I know who this person is. Dufeld. Apparently,
Wait, wasn't he? I don't know. that's not Gang Bage's friend.
No. I thought it was.
Emperor of the Underworld, God of Fortune.
What? I knew he was a thing.
He's a former financier of Mads.
Well, we're learning that here.
The fuck does that mean?
When the fuck did they bring him up?
I don't know. Maybe I'm bugging.
Did they bring him up? It said they bring him up in chapter. Wait, hold on. So his first appearance was chapter 860. So that was Whole Cake, right?
I knew he was a thing. Yeah, maybe he was on Whole Cake. He came to Big Mom. He came to Pudding's wedding.
Yeah, they just invited their ex financer to the fucking.
He's there.
What's
Judge
Mads?
Wood.
Mads was Queen, Judge, and Vegapunk's like
And Caesar Clown.
scientist rock band, huh?
And Caesar Clown.
Oh yeah, and Caesar Clown. They're a whole fucking fun.
They all
fun
worked
house.
together under the
Rock band?
No, they were science.
No, I'm just memeing.
They were science boys together, and they did science and stuff.
Big Mom's a scientist?
No, not Big Mom. Caesar Clown, Queen, Judge, and Vegapunk.
The Queen. Okay. Wow.
And apparently their ship was financed by this dude Dufeld, who was, I guess, on Whole Cake at some point.
Wow, what depth to this character.
Yeah. Hey,
And I'm not even being sarcastic.
yeah. He didn't
Believe
have
it
to
or not.
He doesn't have to do this, but he does. He does every time. There's a deep and intimate backstory with pretty much every character that pops up and has a name. But anyway, last we left off, the CP0 has arrived on Egghead and has started to wreak havoc everywhere, destroying Atlas in the process. And he happened to cross paths with Luffy, Jinbei, and Chopper as they're carrying Jewelry Bonnie up to the Labo phase, where Vegapunk is currently residing at the moment. So yeah, now we're here, and Luffy is now face to face with Lucci. Luffy notices that Atlas is on the ground and is KO'd. Luckily, Atlas is still alive, and Lucci is just looking at Luffy like, I understand that it would be bad to fight. However, and Luffy tries to ask Chopper to help her out, to help Atlas out. Unfortunately, Chopper is a medical doctor, not a mechanic, and Atlas is a robot, so Frankie would be more help. Lucci tells Luffy not to interfere because it's an internal matter, and Luffy's like, man, she made sure I was fed. I'm gonna fuck you up, bro. Anybody who feeds Luffy, he owes their life to. So, Lucci done fucked up, is what I'd say. Meanwhile, at the naval headquarters, we see that Aokiji is pissed off as usual because he learned that the Straw Hats are on Egghead as it stands. And he's like, no, this is a declaration of war at this point. I wish they had talked to me first. If Vegapunk is recruited to Straw Hat's side, then we're losing out on a major source of combat power. So basically, he commands one of the naval officers there to tell Lucci to wait for the Navy arrive. Apparently, Kizaru is actually on his way there now. So you know, he wanted to tell Lucci to wait for the Navy to arrive and to not fight Straw Hat Luffy.
That was him.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
he's been named.
Yeah, he has been named. Unfortunately for Akainu, the battle's already begun and has, in grand fashion, they're not holding back. We see that Lucci has awakened his cat fruit modeled leopard form. It's cool. He's like a slimmer leopard man, but he also has the same kind of thing that Luffy has when he's awakened his form. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, interesting.
It's just black flames, it looks like, but whereas Luffy is like more cloudy white smoke and steam. I wonder if they all have it.
He's a dire jaguar now.
Yeah, I wonder if they all have that when they awaken their fruits, like that weird godly jacket.
Not with the Jesus, with his own fruits, because Law wasn't like that.
Well, yeah, Law didn't have like a weird thing going on there.
Neither did Kid. He just had a big magnet.
Yeah, he did have.
It was kind of dumb too, but whatever. It was stupid.
Stupid. I don't even remember. What was his weight?
Exactly. Magnet.
Yeah, it was just stronger magnet, I guess.
Yes.
But anyway, Vegapunk arrives where the rest of the Straw Hats are, and he's like, "Oh my God, the warrior in white has appeared!" And the other Straw Hats, I'm realizing they don't know about Nika at all. I think most of them haven't seen his Nika form actually in action. Nami asks, "Is like, wait, isn't that just his Gum powers?" He's like, "Even in the oldest books of devil fruits, there's no such thing as the Gum fruit."
They're like, what?
But he's always going Gum this and Gum that. And he's like,
what is he talking about?
Yeah, Vegapunk seems to ignore that completely.
The whole series.
Yeah, this entire time. And he's like, he looks just like a god who only appears in the oldest of texts. He's like, wait, that's Luffy. He's a fucking idiot. Don't you know that? And he explains that, of course, Luffy has the appearance of the laughable warrior of liberation who brings smiles to all people, also known as Nika the Sun God. So this is where it gets kind of fucking crazy. He starts to talk about how, well, first of all, as long as nobody's ever heard of Nika, really, because his name's been erased from the historical texts. But we knew that enough. He explains that, like, all things are brought into this world with hope, even devil fruits. And this is Vegapunk's theory, but apparently every devil fruit is a possibility for human evolution that someone has desired at one point or another across time and space. He even mentions to a point where, like, these powers are brought on by a deep desire for people and their deepest wish at any point in time. If for example, like somebody out there must have been like, I wish I was a leopard. And that's how Lucci's fruit in some way or form came to be. And those powers that they draw on exist in different dimensions, dreamed up by someone else before them. So, you know,
Mm.
he says this is only his theory, but wow, that's an interesting concept for a power. And basically he's like, so you don't need to debate whether any god exists. Isn't it just a fascinating world? Pretty wild. We get into Luffy arriving where Sentomaru is. Sentomaru shows up, captain of the Navy's science division.
Your boy Brian.
Yeah. He's been on this island this whole time, apparently. And he shows up with the Hawkeye, Boa Hancock, and Jinbei Seraphims to drive off all the intruders, the CP0. And Vegapunk is talking to Sentomaru directly. He's just basically being like, Sentomaru's like, I'm helping CP0, right? He's like, no, actually, you're attacking CP0. They are threatening my life. So could you drive them off for me? And he's like, you're going to make me turn traitor right now? And he's like, yeah, true. I should have asked your opinion. But let me put it this way. He said, this is a request coming from me, the person who saved your fucking life. You really going to let me die? Sentomaru's like, oh my God, talk about the pressure. So Lucci commands the Kuma Seraphim to start blasting off
sorry.
everywhere. What?
Did this? We always knew Sentomaru was down with Vegapunk since the beginning, since he beat the shit out of Luffy.
Yeah, he worked directly with Vegapunk at that point.
Was that a big deal to us?
Well, we knew that he worked with him, but it was kind of a big deal. I mean, you know, that's how he had the.
I guess I wasn't reading it live yet. Like,
yeah, no. Well, that would have been revealed in Sabaody, and we caught up basically at Marineford.
Yeah, end of Impel Down.
Yeah.
/ Marineford is when I picked it up. That was my origin point.
Yeah, me too.
So, okay. Oh, you too? Really?
I wasn't very far behind when I had you.
I thought you seen I thought you already seen the CPO shit and the
That's beyond that's before the Anis Lobby.
That's way before.
Yeah, that's way before. I don't know how far ahead. I think I like really read One Piece pretty consistently, and I finished it in a while because it was like doable.
Yeah, because you know about Thriller Bark and all of that shit, so you definitely started reading it way before, like me. Yeah.
No, but I remember getting Current around that time as well.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That's
maybe
when
I was
finally.
like,
oh,
yeah. Anyway,
I thought you were shysting it like me. Just
no.
like here, keep it up to date while also catching up.
No, I started reading it from the very beginning and then I caught up. I can't do that.
Yeah, that's why I called it shysting it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I shiced through the series, yo. I do it all the time.
I shysted right through it.
Yeah, because I gotta see. I don't care if I spoil myself.
Yeah, I care deeply about spoilers.
Yeah, check this out. Sometimes I'll be reading a series. Like I did this with with the assassin guy that looks like the coach.
Hitman Reborn?
No, it looks like the coach Andy Reid.
Oh, Sakamoto Days.
Sakamoto Days, yeah. I literally I read it up to I read way past this point, but I remember I got to the 30s, and for some reason, I just decided to look at the newest chapter and read the whole thing.
Sometimes
why?
Sometimes I get a tiny peek at the current chapters, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool.
Right. I'm like, they're fighting. I wonder who that is.
Yeah, Sakamoto Days is nonstop fighting. Like they fight pretty much the entire series. Really good action. Pick up Sakamoto Days. It's pretty fun. Anyway, so the Seraphim show up. Sentomaru is being peer pressured into saving Vegapunk's life. We have the S Bear Seraphim just going off and just blasting off at random points. Sentomaru commands the S Bear to start attacking all the CP0 agents, and basically Stussy breaks down the hierarchy of people that the Seraphim will pretty much listen to. And the CP0 are pretty much at the bottom of that list for the most part. Sentomaru's above them. Dr. Vegapunk and all of his satellites are above Sentomaru, and the 5 elders are above Vegapunk, which is concerning.
They lack access. That is concerning as well.
No, the 5
We'll
elders
talk about that later.
The 5 elders have ultimate control over the Seraphim, even above Vegapunk, is what they're
Oh no, but these guys do.
Oh yeah, not the CP0. They do
CP0 lacks access.
They do lack access. Meanwhile, Luffy's punching through the ground and giving this guy a fucking liver shot from the ground. Standard Gear 5 shit. Lucci's not doing great in this fight.
He doesn't even understand. I wish instead of exclamation marks, it would have been question marks. Like, what the fuck just happened to
Did
me?
I just get punched by the
That
ground?
would have made it way better.
Did he use the ground like a glove?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Oh.
I disappeared.
Yeah, you did disappear.
I'm getting a call.
Get back here.
I'm back then.
So yeah, that's all happening. Luffy actually approaches Sentomaru. He's like, "Hey, Axe Boy, not long time no see." Sentomaru's like, "Don't call me by my weapon. We're enemies." And
Axe Boy.
Yeah, he's like, "So you're gonna help Punk escape, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, he asked me to. It's cool." And he's basically, they're having a little chat. He's talking about, "I don't know if that's reassuring or not, but I hear you're an emperor now, and you got that weird look going on." But that's when Lucci comes out of nowhere and uses his hand pistol to possibly kill Sentomaru.
No.
I mean, I said possibly.
No.
I didn't give him the sound effect, did I? I said possibly.
No.
Hey, people have been dropping dead ever since the time skip. It's possible.
Brian doesn't agree. Neither do I.
People dying.
This just goes to show whenever some motherfucker is supposedly the most defensive motherfucker in the series, whenever somebody makes a defensive claim in One Piece, you know they're just gonna get murked. That's just how it works. That's just what happens.
They're used for power scaling.
Well, to
everybody's
be fair,
like, yeah, I'm kind of fucking really.
Train.
I'm a thick boy. Nobody can hurt me.
To be fair,
they immediately get murked.
He didn't get a chance to get his guard up. You got to give him a chance.
So stupid.
Yeah. Well, he's out. Whether he's dead or not, he is out of the game, giving the Seraphim's control to Lucci and the CP0. I mean, he still has to kill Vegapunk because Vegapunk could probably still command the CP0, the Seraphims, but not from where he's at, I guess. I don't know. And that's for the end of the chapter there. Now it's 2 weeks to the next chapter, unfortunately. But yeah, that was One Piece chapter 1069. We do have a question from Sketchy Mike. I don't know if we should get into it first or just do our thoughts first, but while I pull it up, in fact, Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
The Sentomaru design change. That's number one. I don't know.
Sentomaru looks the same.
Right? Exactly the same?
Yeah, he just has a coat. But we knew that. That's not brand new. When he showed up
in
Sabaody, he had the coat.
Oh, he did? Okay, so same design.
Same design.
I thought he looked different.
Nope.
I don't know. He is intimidating before, man. Him, Kizaru, and the pacifistas, man, they were on another fucking level.
Mm-hmm.
They strike fear in my heart, in my adolescent heart. When I first started reading the series. So to see Sentomaru finally pull up and he just got earthed. What happened to this great defense? What happened to that chest plate? That's not even regular clothing he's wearing. That's supposed to be like body armor or something. What happened?
It's not body armor. He's wearing
Well, it should
regular
have been.
clothing.
Well. It should have been, Chris.
I mean,
It should have been.
I'm not debating that.
You know.
I wouldn't debate
Whatever.
that.
Look. What? Why is Lucci so strong? Why does he have Conqueror's Hockey and he's clashing with Luffy? That shit bothered me.
Yeah.
Well, technically, that could not be Conqueror's Hockey.
What do you mean?
Technically, that could just be clashes of hockey, not Conqueror's
What do you mean, Brian?
Because we've seen shit like that, like these
What
clashes happen.
do you mean?
I'm literally explaining
Yeah.
it, you stupid bitch.
No, you're not explaining it well enough, Brian.
I'm literally explaining it right now. You're not letting me explain it. So
What do you mean,
essentially, we've seen these kind of clashes happen before, with hockey. So we're not exactly sure what constitutes like it being Conquerors and what constitutes it being, like regular Armament. Because
Well-
sometimes it do be like that.
Brian, I think you
Chris
look up
doesn't
whether
disagree with you.
Lucci technically has it now.
There's a chance he has it. I feel like it makes sense for him
I
to
think
have it.
the
but-
electricity thing is supposed to be Conqueror's Hockey clashing. It's not
Yeah, but we've seen clashes like that happen before with Armament.
between who and who.
No.
I can't recall exactly when, but it has happened,
Mm.
to my knowledge.
I wonder why his god form would use armament hockey in the first place.
Who?
Which, let's be clear, that's exactly what he was doing. Like, regardless. When Luffy clashed with Mr. Jaguar, they both were using the armament on their fist.
Mm-hmm.
But why would Luffy have to do that in his form? Kind of weird and inconsistent.
No, he uses.
I kind
hockey.
of wish he didn't turn into the Nika form yet. I don't think Mr. Jaguar deserves that.
I mean, he is getting his ass whooped by it pretty thoroughly.
I guess. They seem pretty even there.
In that moment, sure, but then he hit him with the floor uppercut.
Yeah, he did.
I did find this guy's question, so I guess we should get into it. Mike B, our homeboy, El Sketcherino, he comes in and he asks us a question about this particular chapter. So after reading chapter 1069 of One Piece and seeing Luffy going gear 5th immediately, do you think this means the end for the other gears? Gear 5 is the strongest, and as of this moment, we don't know of any drawbacks, so I couldn't see why Luffy would ever want to use any other form. So you think he's just going to be like, I mean, evidently he seems to be doing that immediately, just bursting into gear 5 as his first option.
Yeah. Well, there were times where he slipped into it literally without even being in combat too. So it seems like that's going to be his bread and butter now.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder, I can imagine he needs time to like maybe fully control it, because like Brian mentioned, there are moments where he could just like slip into it, and we don't know how conscious he is of slipping into gear 5 or not yet. We just had kind of like a hard cut and there he was. So I'm wondering about that as well. I would think it would behoove Luffy to pace himself a little bit and just like start with the other gears and end up in 5. Or maybe a combo of all of them. Because in theory, that's what gear 5 is. It's the combination of all the gears. But that's my thought.
I thought Gear 5 was just the next level. Like, it completely changed the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it went from affecting his body to affecting everything else around him.
Oh, yeah, it does.
He could probably grab the sun out the sky and smack somebody with it and then place it right back.
Yeah, just
You know what I'm saying?
just
Like a
steel chair it.
Looney Tune. Like,
Wham!
you know,
You just put it back.
and it's just a mass of the entire mass of the sun he just got cracked in the head with.
Yeah. How fire would that be?
No
We could
pun
just rip
intended.
the sun
That
out
would
of
be
the
pretty
sky.
fire.
All right. I guess I could, Brian, what would you think? What were your thoughts on the chapter overall?
I think the Seraphim are so adorable. I think anybody who has any defensive stats in One Piece is just made like created to make an example of.
Mm-hmm.
Virgo, now fucking Sentamaru. Everybody's just looking to get their asses beat.
That's true.
So I feel like it doesn't really matter at the end of the day how fucking powerful people's defenses are. And it would be lame if fucking if everybody just kind of keeps getting railed whenever they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm such a defensive fucking player. Everybody, I'm so strong with my gut. My stomach just doesn't hurt anymore." You know, it's just come on, just give somebody the ability to be a tank for once.
Yeah.
But that's all my thoughts for this.
Zoro's a tank.
Frankie's a tank, literally.
Yeah, that too.
He has like tire track. He has like tank tires on his knees. He's a for real tank. I really enjoyed this chapter. I thought the stuff with Vegapunk is super interesting. I don't even know really what to make of it all that much. Just because I feel like obviously Oda letting us know that Vegapunk, this is just like a theory of his, lets us know that like Vegapunk is probably on the right track, but there's still more to learn. This isn't a definitive answer, obviously. And I'm excited to find out more about the devil fruits. I knew this was going to happen. I knew that the second we got to Egghead, I was like, oh, we're going to learn about some devil fruits. I'm here for it. But to know that, like, I don't even know how to conceive of the idea that these fruits are the result of just like people praying for, you know, these abilities and these powers manifesting from other dimensions. It's so interesting, and it does, he does give a reason as well. I think I neglected to mention earlier of like this desire is like loathed by the sea, because it's like the sea is considered the mother of nature, and that is why devil fruit users tend to sink, because they are kind of like products of unnatural like wishes to an extent. You know, it's like a blasphemy on nature itself to want to evolve yourself to such an accelerated degree. So I think it's very interesting. There's like trees that grow these fruits. Like there's a gum tree. Well, not anymore because there's no gum tree. There's no gum fruit. Right. But which tears apart my theory about like why the government was just like watching Luffy with these powers, just be like, what, isn't that Nika's powers? I thought there would be like a gum fruit out there, and then just Luffy is using the Nika fruit, and they called it that.
Right. Like that did exist, but it doesn't exist at all.
None of them exist.
Yeah.
Neither of them exist.
No. Bungee gum exists though.
Bungee gum has the properties of rubber and gum.
You know, that really bit them right in the ass, didn't it?
What?
The world government. They were like, yo, let's erase this fucking devil fruit from existence. Nobody's ever gonna like find out about it, bro. And then when it comes out,
red hair.
They don't know anything about it because it's not written down anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how much the elders knew before, like maybe that's why, is that there's no record of them, so the elders didn't actually know until like it started manifesting. It was like, oh shit, I heard about this. Oh, like, fuck.
Ah, damn. Why they gotta erase that shit, bro? Like, can you just give us a little page, bro? Like a little sticky note, bro?
Damn. I should have read more devil fruit books, then I would know that there's no such thing as a goddamn gum fruit. Such an idiot.
Yeah, wait, nobody back checked that? Nobody fact check it and went, yo, you know what? Like, guys, I don't see any gum fruit in this shit. Just say.
Yeah.
This some new shit?
I'll give them benefit of the doubt in that they knew, because they weren't transporting it. They knew what the ship, they knew what the fruit was. We're like, they had pretty heavy guard underneath it. It just got stolen from them. But I'm sure there's a whole story behind the Nika fruit and all that stuff that we're going to learn later on. just because there's a whole story of Shanks that we have to understand before moving any further into understanding devil fruits. I feel. But man, what a chapter! Lots of stuff. Oda is the king of just like breadcrumbs. This is giving us just enough to be satisfied for a little while, but still keeping us wondering. I don't know if he's been watching Lost for several years. And it's just like, I'm gonna do what they do, but for manga. But he makes it happen every time. The Seraphim are adorable. I do agree with you on that, Brian. They are very adorable kids.
I love Esper. Esper is my favorite.
Yeah, Esper is adorable. He's a big, giant, deadly teddy bear.
I just hope that Senamaru isn't out.
Yeah, I hope he's
I
not
just
dead, too.
hope. I just hope that Senamaru just isn't just insta-murked and then done for the rest of the arc.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Sentomaru was down. He was like, all right, I guess I'm helping you guys out then. So, you know, I'm sorry I sicked a bunch of pacifistas and my Uncle Kizaru on you 2 years ago and palmed you to death. But now we're on the same side. But yeah, dirty move by Lucci. It made me mad. I was like, you bitch. Why did you attack? I think you're muted, Josh. Get it together, man.
I was just saying how Sentomaru just got reintroduced.
Yeah.
Pedro.
And then gets instant finger blasted.
Yeah. It is funny how he did it too. He's just like, oh, I don't know. What's going on, man? You look weird. You're an emperor now. Oh, God.
Dead.
Dead. Not dead.
Dead.
Maybe not dead. We'll have to see. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Great chapter. I hope Luffy revenge kills Lucci in Sentomaru's name. It's looking like that.
Also, one more thing. I wonder how long it's going to take for Kizaru to get there. Like, because he was already on the way, so he should arrive like basically as soon as fucking Lucci gets his ass beat. No,
He better hurry
Does
up.
he not move at the speed of light?
I mean,
He does,
kinda.
right?
yeah. He can't fly.
what can he ride on like his own beam or some shit?
No, he has to like he can travel through reflections. So unless they find a way to make a line of mirrors from one island to the next, he can't necessarily fly there.
I mean, it's Vegapunk's island. I feel like they would have to have some kind of system like that.
Well, they won't. They won't now. Why would they? Kizaru's coming to kill them.
He will kill them.
One funny dynamic that brings up. I think Kizaru is supposed to be Sentomaru's brother. I wonder if he'll take kindly to.
Huh?
Not brother. He's supposed to be his uncle.
What?
Yeah, he calls him Uncle Kizaru. You can verify that for me, Brian, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
What?
Verify it, Brian.
Yeah, verify it for me, Brian, but I'm pretty sure that's
Please.
a thing. Encyclopedia, don't let me down now.
Gone freaks.
Gone freaks. But I'm pretty sure that's the case. If that's true, I wonder how he'll take to that. I wonder if he'll just be like, my foolish nephew, you shouldn't have chosen the wrong side. With his pursed lips. Ooh.
In fact, it's completely baseless. The only partially relatable tie between Kizaru and Vegapunk. Oh wait. Okay, so he is his nephew.
Hey!
Yeah, he is his nephew.
Let's go, me. The encyclopedia.
Which is very odd because they don't look alike at all.
The old noggin. Still working. There's a reason I'm wearing this Jolly Roger on my head. It's giving me all the memories. But yeah, I mean,
pretty big chapter though.
Yeah, he's either gonna be very nonchalant manga villain about it, or he's not gonna take kindly to it. No in between. But with that being said, any rebuttals? Anything? Any last words on the chapter? All right.
Nope.
Let's move onward. My Hero Academia.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. You got to make it fun somehow. This is My Hero Academia chapter 3. This is My Hero Academia chapter 375, Chaotic Confusion. Last we left off, everything started going sour for the heroes. We had Kurogiri wake up and start teleporting reinforcements to various places where the villains were having a tough time, specifically with Endeavor and Hawks versus All for One in his new awakened form, and Shigaraki with everybody, pretty much the world, at his back. And last we left off there, we had Twice apparently come through the portal, but it's actually Toga using Twice's quirk to wreak mayhem on what's going on there. And we figure out how that whole thing started to how that whole thing came together. We cut to Okuto Island, where Asui and Uraraka are fighting Toga. Toga is Uraraka is just trying to like figure out how to take her down because Toga has this trick for concealing her presence, and she's figuring that it would be good to have a sensory type hero back them up. Big Gang Orca, I almost called him Big Orca. His name is Gang Orca. I gotta remember the name.
Okay.
Gang Orca. He's
back, Gang Orca back for his like third appearance in 400 chapters.
Yeah. He was somewhat prominent in the original war. He was there. He existed.
Yeah, didn't they tease that he was going to do some cool shit in that war, and then they like didn't show it?
Yeah. Brian, from my memory of just reading the series over, yes, that's exactly what happened.
He's like, time for me to do some cool shit.
Yeah.
And then proceeded to do cool shit just
off screen.
Off camera.
Just so we can't see it. Read Vigilantes if you want to know what he does here.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
No.
Tune in to SBS for after this.
Yeah. Anyway, he's headbutting a Nomu right now, so I guess his like sensory powers are gonna have to wait. I know he has sonar and stuff, so
sonar.
We see that Toga is actually like thinking more strategically. Apparently, according to the narration, we see that Himiko Toga's actions were rarely driven by any sort of big picture strategizing. However, her rancor, I don't know what that means. Brian, could you look up what rancor means?
It's a Bleach thing, isn't
it? What?
Yeah.
Oh, and a rancor? No, this guy.
No, rancor is something else.
Pulling out deep cut references.
Maybe it's her quirk.
I don't think that's what her quirk is. Her rancor. I would be surprised. Anyway, her rancor completely transformed her into a full-fledged villain as she is about to take Twice's blood. Asui peeps that shit and is like, bleh! She does her Yoshi tongue directly at the vial. But unfortunately, Shirajuar, it was a decoy, and Himiko Toga manages to transform into Asui at some point, and then drink the blood, allowing her to transform into Twice, and is now able to use his quirk. And at that very moment, that's when the Kurogiri portal pulled up. And he's like, must save Shigaraki and his allies. Himiko Toga, what do you want to do? And he's like, to slaughter the heroes, starting with Hawks. Because, that's fitting. So, yeah, that's how she ended up where she is. As she's being teleported away, Uraraka tries to reach out for her. And she's like, get back here. We still haven't had our chat about romance. Anyway,
this didn't move to Toga much.
Yeah, Toga was like, if only we could have, but I'm a grown man now and I have to teleport over to somewhere else. So yeah, she says she wished she could have. We return to the Gunga Mountains, and we get this weird narration thing where we get an explanation of just what we know by now. And then we get a big 2-page spread where Toga uses Sadman Parade Infinite Doubles, where there's just like a tsunami of Twice clones approaching everyone. And everybody's like, fuck, no. But the chapter ends with a little beacon of hope, I guess, as guess who pulls through the portal? It's Asui and Uraraka. We have pretty much like everybody reacting to them, and there is a little panel of the weather lady, I guess, to remind us that a storm is coming soon, and that's probably going to be a little bit of a saving factor in all this.
Could be Bakugo's awakening or whatever.
Oh my god.
Because the same thing happened around the weather started changing around the time that Bakugo died. So
yeah, how much you want to bet this lightning comes down and acts as a defibrillator for Bakugo's heart? That is now,
I don't think
that is
so.
now Edge shot. Let me get this theory out, Brian, because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. It's going to be Edge shot. He's going to get a shock to the heart. It's going to be like, and it's going to bring Bakugo back to life. That's what I'm going with.
You know what? You won me over.
If that happens, Brian, what will you do? I feel like it's very likely, to be honest. It feels like it's somewhat likely to happen that Bakugo's second chance at life comes at the end of a lightning strike directly onto his edge shot heart. But
I hope not.
Anyway, that was the end of the chapter. That was a chapter. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
So, I wasn't really excited or really down about the chapter. It was just moving things along, I suppose. So with that said, I remember talking so much shit about how we're never gonna see Uraka and this girl like resolve their little situation or whatever. So I guess we're gonna get that. So I should eat, whatever. L for me, whatever.
Well, we
we'll
are
see.
gonna
We'll
get
see
that
what he
because she's
does
still here.
with it.
Hey, don't lose hope.
Huh?
Ochaku went through the portal. So did Asui. So there's still hope.
But here's the problem.
That's the point.
Is that subplot sucks ass. I
Kinda
never
does.
liked it. I never gave a fuck about this whole
Yeah.
like forced love triangle. Like
I'll tell you
nothing
what, Brian.
about this is interesting.
That
Like,
Deku has no idea about anyway. He has no idea.
Exactly.
These bitches like him.
I'll tell you what, Brian. You're not wrong. This plot point does indeed suck ass.
The only woman he cares about in his life is his mom.
Which, as he should. His mother's a saint. But yeah.
Deku's like, pussy? What that got to do with saving the world? What that got to do with All for One?
Yeah.
One for all.
Yeah, man. Continue, Josh. I don't know if you have any more thoughts, but
I wonder if All Might ever told a girl like, bitch, that pussy is one for all.
Pussy.
what?
One for me and the crew.
Man, that pussy is one for the streets.
He's the symbol of peace. That's how you keep the peace.
This is
Nah, let me stop being. No, it's not. Oh, my phone didn't drop, but my iPad did.
Hey man, don't jinx it.
Yeah, Brian said it right. I don't care for this conflict. That's why I wrote it off weeks and months, like a couple months ago when I said they would never return, because I didn't care if they returned or not. But I
They
hope
can
I have
stay
a
over
reason
there.
to return. I really like these last few panels. I mean, the last page with all of them kind of, getting ready to confront these situations, like the look on their face. Who's this lady at the bottom again? Did you guys
The
talk
weather
about
lady.
that?
It was like a chapter ago or so where the lady was like, "There's a big storm developing, and it's going towards Japan. And also, the world governments are pussy for letting Japan fight this battle all by themselves."
Yeah.
Well, we already know that USA has Kinjaku, that they had a meeting with him, so they couldn't
Yeah.
go.
That's true.
Right. They were both.
That's what he was
They
talking
all
about.
share the same universe.
Yeah, they had shit to do.
Yeah.
I don't really have too many other thoughts. Brian.
What did you think, Brian?
You know, for all my defending My Hero Academia before, I never really enjoyed the Toga like romance subplot thing that they were trying to do. It was never really a good one for me. I never tried like I never really been a fan of Toga in general, to be honest.
I don't believe you.
I've always enjoyed everybody else. But I feel like Toga being wasted as this kind of, you know, crazy, like hopeless romantic kind of thing is always felt like a disservice to her character and what it could have been about. Because her whole thing is like she has like what makes her interesting is that she has a quirk that is so clearly not for a sane person. And it's really sad, you know, because it functions off of, you know, madness. Like it functions off of, you know, death and blood and it's really more hard to find like an easy solution. Like it's hard to find a solution to a problem like that, and people take the easy route of just exiling her or treating her like she's not human, you know. And that's what her story could have been about, but instead it just boils down to her. Oh, I love Deku, and I also love Ochaka. Oh no, but you're a hero and I'm a villain. What a sad world we live in. Like,
Batman Parade.
like, come on,
The
man.
only sad
Like,
world.
it's so uninteresting, and it's all one-sided, and it just it melts down both Ochako and Toga. Like this subplot doesn't benefit either of them. It makes them both weaker, in my opinion. And it's horribly out of place for what's going on in the series right now. And I don't think this is something that should have been resolved before this. And this should have been the payoff to it being resolved before. Like maybe things went wrong between them in that conversation, and then now this is them having to fight because that fell out. Or maybe there's like before it was more open-ended and maybe she could get under her skin, but it's just like not worth it. I don't think this is a good subplot. And I'm a little disappointed that it's being carried over into a battlefield where more interesting shit is going down, literally.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
I mean, beat a dead horse, why don't you? I also don't give a shit about this weird subplot. I mean, you know, like I think there's something interesting to be said about Toga's thing. Like Brian said, you know, it's about like somebody who is kind of mentally unhinged and just so happens to have a pretty violent ability, all things considered. And you know, it just feels like there's a disconnect between that and the wanting to be people you love thing that I've never fully understand or felt. Like I guess it goes to a power of mimicry, you know, where she could be somebody else, and you know, the strength of her power is dependent on how much she loved the person, and that's why she's able to use Twice's quirk and able to use Ochako's quirk and all that stuff. So I guess there's a parallel here, you know, someone who just wants to be loved and loves a lot, but is also mentally unhinged that doesn't know how to really express that. But it is boiled. It does boil down to I love this boy type shit, and it does make Ochako a little lesser because her character is almost already entirely based on Deku. So yeah, I feel like of all the League of Villains, this is like one of his weird missteps where there's something here, but it is weirdly, it's just like not expressed well enough for me to really identify and understand with it. Or maybe it's just the way it's written, because I understand what he's trying to do. It's about this person who is unable to show affection in any other way than this weird violent thing she's got going on. There are probably people in the world like that, like murderers and stuff like that who think that way. But yeah, I don't know. It is strange the way it's executed, I suppose. I'm just not identifying with Toga like I am the rest of the league. And maybe there was a better way for Horikoshi to do that than just to give this weird love triangle dynamic that didn't need to be a thing. I don't know. It's tough. But we have all these plot lines converging at one point, and hopefully they all like kind of bounce off each other in an interesting way. But we'll see. We're actually okay, My Hero is coming out next week. Cool.
Nice.
I just wanted to make sure.
That'll be there.
That will be there. Oh, so one thing, I actually got kind of confused at the sequence of events in the last 2 pages. Just because like the to be continued is on the page before the actual last page, and I'm like, wait, is this supposed to be swapped around? Because then we see like the sequence of action of Uraraka being thrown through the portal in the first place, and then all these reaction shots, and then all of a sudden we see Ochaku zooming through the portal, and I'm like, is that supposed to be the real last page, or it just felt a little weird? I don't know about you guys.
Horikoshi does that sometimes, where he'll have like the last page, and then it'll be like extra. There'll be still more pages.
Yeah,
after.
I don't know if it's a printing
Yo,
error.
sometimes I missed the last page because of that. It didn't happen this week, but
yeah, sometimes I wonder, is this like a weird printing error? Because I feel like the sequence of events, it's not just that the to be continued is like on this page. It's also like they're zooming through the hole, but the page after that is Asui throwing her through the hole, like through the portal. So it feels a little like confusing. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't think that was like his intention, but I could be wrong there as well. I don't know. I have no idea. But yeah, that's all my thoughts. I don't know if you guys have any rebuttals or anything like that. All right.
Not really.
Well, let's move on to the next one. Stalling so I could get it going. All right, let's go. Chainsaw Man.
Chainsaw Man.
This is Chainsaw Man chapter 113. I want to see penguins. So last we left off, Asa, in her mission to create a weapon strong enough to defeat the Chainsaw Man for Yoru, has decided to ask Denji out on a date so that she can turn him into a weapon at some point during the date. We open up here with Asa getting ready, and she has a hairpin going, but then she takes it out. She's like, forget the hairpin. And Yoru's like, you're so plain. Can't you add more flair or whatever? He's like, no, it's fine. He's like, you'll be able to turn that punk into a weapon if he likes you. Are you truly capable of seducing him? And she's like, too easy. Boys, it's super easy. They'll fall for anybody who show them even a fraction of a good time. And he's like, yours like, for real? And she's like, yeah, you just don't understand because you're a devil. And he's like,
I guess.
And she's like, besides, I'm pretty darn cute, so he'll be head over heels by the time we hang out for a little bit. And they go to the aquarium. They're just staring at these anemones. And there's paragraphs of text of her explaining sea life to Denji, and Denji's like, can we not talk about anemones already? anemones. And she's like, I want to go look at the penguins. He's like, no, we're supposed to look at these for another 10 minutes. He's like, listen, I came up with the perfect plan for enjoying the aquarium. If we aren't deviating from the plan, so, chill. And Daddy's like, all right. And then she starts explaining more shit about starfish and all this stuff. There's massive paragraphs of oceanic life facts. He's like, all right, I want to go see penguins already. He's like, no, the plan is to look at starfish for another 30 minutes. He's like, 30 minutes? He's like, hey, man, can we just ignore? Oh, dude, after all this, she starts going into another monologue about it. And inside her head, she's like, she's thinking about it. She's like, he should be falling for me around now. Even the aquarium employees couldn't give this good of an explanation. He's like, can we just ignore the plan and go see penguins for a minute? He's like, would you mind shutting up? We'll have fun as long as you stick to my plan. You don't need to think about a thing. And then he's like, I decided to think about my own stuff in my own way, And he goes like, I'm looking at those penguins with or without you because I've never seen a penguin before. He's like, good for you, Denji. He's grown so much.
I fucking love Denji so much.
Yeah, so she watches him go away, and Yoru's like, shouldn't you go after him? He's like, no, he's the wrong one. He interrupted my explanation and went off on his own. I didn't do anything wrong. And Yoru comes in with some heat. She's just like, could it be that you're a total bore?
She was like, what?
What'd you say?
What the fuck you said about me?
You said, dude, you not only bored that boy, but I was bored. And
I was bored the entire time.
yeah. She's like, what? You and the fucking fake chainsaw boy are bores. I studied up on ocean facts at the library for this. He's like, all right, whatever, go after him. And she's just yelling at him more. He's like, you just don't understand because you're a fucking devil. I did everything right. And that's when a familiar face pulls up. He's like, you're not wrong, Asa. And it's the girl from the Devil Hunter Club that showed up and gave Yuko her expanded abilities, I guess. And she's like, whoa, she's like, Denji's someone who doesn't know the first thing about right or wrong. You're right. But there's one thing you're wrong about. You can't turn Denji into a weapon at all. It's like, you always have to do the right thing. You can't turn a person into a weapon. And Asa's like, how do you know about my power? He's like, did I never mention? I'm the War Devil's big sister, the Famine Devil. And she says, call me Fammy. So that's not great. So Yoru is like, not good. Asa, don't listen to that. And then she snaps her fingers and both of them disappear. And she's like, I took Yoru outside. Any human being should be capable of abandoning their morality when they're starving. So, you aren't leaving this aquarium until you turn Denji into a weapon. See you soon. And then that's when Denji comes back. He's like, we got an emergency. This aquarium ain't that big, right? She's like, no. He's like, because no matter how far I walked down that hall, I couldn't get out. And we see just like an endless fucking hallway of this aquarium. And Denji's like that pain in the butt back from hell. And that's where the chapter left off. Seemingly that the Infinity Devil is also back. Or the Eternity Devil. I forget which one.
Remember when they was in that room for mad long? Yo, he chainsawed him in the elevator room or something like that. That shit was crazy.
So yeah, it's both the Famine and the Infinity Devil are back. So yeah, crazy. Josh, what did you think about this chapter?
This chapter was so fucking funny. It was my RGC.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, it was my RGC as well.
Whoa. Yeah, it was my RGC. This was this is a unified, really good chapter for Chainsaw Man. First time, I think, at least in this new era, right? Anyway, I'm
Is
doing
it?
I'm doing the drop.
Unified RGC. Unified RGC. Unified RGC.
Oh yeah. Go on, Josh.
Yeah. So when she was so confident talking to the War Devil about how she's gonna back up Denji, excuse me, in my mind, I was on her side because Denji was already freaked out for her just because she's a girl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That is interested in him. So of course, like he's gonna be down with it. But it was just, what did she say? She was like, "Boys fall for anyone who can show them a fraction of a good time." That's, I don't know about fall for them, but whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just the fact that even Denji, so she's that lame that even Denji, who all he cares about is wanting to get laid, wouldn't even care if she looked like a foot. You know what I'm saying? He would have still.
As long as
you
she
know what
has
I'm-
boobs, he was interested.
yeah. So it's the fact that even with all of that said, and by the way, I learned two things today. That there are over 2,000 species of starfish,
Mhm.
and also that Brian knows his shit about podcast stuff. Those are two things I learned today. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate both Brian and the author of Chainsaw Man
What is this?
for providing me with that information. Anyway, it's just the way Denji looked as she's like explaining everything. He looks worn out, like he's really trying.
Yeah,
Like,
he is
remember
trying.
when Oda was holding the pot boiling, like when
Yeah.
he was boiling and holding up the samurai, and he was
Yeah.
like, "Ooh," that's how Denji is going through it right now,
Yeah.
and all he wants to do is see the penguins. And
Yeah. Just let the boy see the penguins.
Just let him see the penguins.
If you'd seen the
I
penguins,
like how he came to the conclusion. He was like, "I decided to think about stuff in my own way." Like, fuck out of here. It's it's funny because someone with more intelligence than Denji, and like I say, a regular person probably would have just stuck with it. But he has enough of a sense of independence to be able to say, you know what, I don't care who the fuck you think you are. I want to see what I want to see.
yeah.
And ultimately, I put that first, and I respect that about Denji. He puts his interest. I don't really respect it, but it's something that's cool to see, I guess.
Yeah. He's a
Because you got to be both. It's not respectable if you're not also super considerate, at the
Yeah.
same time.
he's a simp with boundaries. Very thin
That's the balance
boundaries.
I want to have.
You gotta have.
I want to.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
No, he's a simp with boundaries. He's got
Yeah.
he's got paper thin boundaries, but man, she really had to be really bad, I guess, to break Denji's simp barrier.
She literally said, like, we're supposed to do this for 10 more minutes. Like, what? Are you fucking psycho? She is. She has no idea what she was. That's why I was so thrown off in the beginning because, bitch, what are you talking about? You've never had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
What? Right? Isn't that
Yeah,
the
I think
case?
that's the thing.
No, everyone joked on her at school. Like, fuck, you a cornball. You ain't got no swag. You ain't got no game.
No.
This is Chainsaw Man you're talking to. He's been around.
He has been
I don't
around.
give a fuck about no starfish. I care about starfish.
Yeah. Those all your thoughts?
Yeah, I think starfish are pretty cool.
Starfish are pretty cool.
Brian, what do you think about starfish in this chapter? And
This was
also,
a-
I guess, podcast stuff if you'd like to share with the audience as well.
This is a really funny chapter. I think, is it the Infinity Devil at the end, or
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it's the
Are we
Infinity Devil.
sure? Because so
You know
the
it's
Infinity Devil's
infinite?
working with the Famine Devil.
Yeah. Well, at the very
They
least,
just be
it's
working
there
together like
because
that?
Denji mentions that it's back. So it's not Famine because he's never faced off against Famine. I don't think he's faced off against the Infinity Devil, who's made the hallway endless.
What an
Interesting.
annoying devil.
Yeah, I'm trying to leave a
Yeah.
place, and it's just like the exits further and further away from you.
So I've been walking for 45 minutes. Am I,
Is this Gojo? Is Gojo doing this?
am I in a dream?
Yeah, I don't have much else to say. This is a pretty fun chapter.
I couldn't even imagine that shit. That's like from Super Mario, when you're running up the stairs forever.
Yeah. I guess I do want to add that moment with Denji is pretty. It's actually like a deeper moment than you think. Where he decides to just go off after Asa's like, you don't have to think
It's a
about
deeper
anything.
moment than I think,
Maybe
or you're saying that generally.
in generally,
Mm.
I'd say it generally. I would never profess to know more than you think, Josh.
Good. Good.
So I think the interesting thing about it is that Denji just like spent so long in Chainsaw Man Part 1 with the Control Devil for so long, and now that he's just like kind of out, out of her grasp and all that stuff, he's like more independent now, and he's making choices for himself. And despite the fact
Right.
that he's not changed all that much on the outset, the one positive change that he's made in his life is that he has gained his own agency and his own sentience, and he's his own person. So I appreciate that about this little moment of development, because old Denji probably would have stayed for 30 minutes and listened to her talk about starfish forever. Did you mute yourself?
Yeah, I did. But for sure, he definitely would have tempted hard for her in the last season. And that's why I brought it up too. I was like, yeah, like he's grown to that point, and I guess that's why I said I respected about him. But you really broke it down much further. That was well said.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got to say about it. This chapter was pretty damn good. Obviously, RGC for all three of us.
Do you think Denji could beat a higher Nomu?
Denji? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's being far stronger than Inomu. All right. Well, I guess with that being said, we should move on to the next chapter. I can't believe Jujutsu Kaisen and Black Clover aren't on today. It's so weird.
Right. It's an odd combination of not being there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's move on.
Gon and Killua
are not in
You
this
gotta get the
chapter.
drop.
Hunter.
They're never coming back to the series because
Probably
it's going
never.
to go on hiatus again for another 8 years.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. You never know. They'll pop up on the boat. This is Hunter x Hunter chapter 398. We're getting close to the big 400. But Hunter x Hunter chapter 398, Search. Last we left off, we see that we had like a flashback, a full-blown flashback, and now we're just back in the present time. We're just plopped back, where we're back in the succession battle arc, where the Phantom Troop, or members of the Phantom Troop, Finks, Nobunaga, and Phaeton
Nobunaga.
are hunting for the Haley, which is one of the factions that lie upon this ship and is causing a lot of mayhem and a lot of trouble for the other two Kaken Mafia people. So there's just like a big old turf war happening, trying to snuff out the Haley before they cause enough trouble that it would give the higher ups an excuse to come down and pretty much slaughter all of them with impunity. So uh, they enlist a fandom troop to help do that. Uh, they've basically been weaving their way through these Haley traps that have been set by the members of the Haley, using one of their own to try and guide them through that. Take the hit if anything. Um, and so far, they haven't come into many traps. They see there's a big explanation about this trap door. Um, and all that stuff. So far, they haven't fallen into one yet, and they keep going through doors to try and figure out where exactly the trap is. The guy gets a chance to escape, but Phaeton cuts him off pretty quickly and is like, you thought you had this, didn't you? You thought you were gonna run away." Um, and he tells them, he basically threatens him to come back before he chops off one of his ears.
Right
So
or left?
yep. And this guy comes back and he goes through the door, but then he disappears. And they're like, "Oh shit! It triggered without the old man." So he says that there doesn't seem to be any auxiliary props. It's not a barrier, but a landmine. So it's not like a wall necessarily, but there's an activation switch that exists in this area that starts off the Nen trap that teleports the intruder somewhere else. Um, so yeah. So yeah, now that they know kind of what the deal is with this particular trap, um, they just got to find out more information. So they grab another one of their guys and just shoves them through. Um, so and from then they learn that it's not a single use trap. It's just there and it's a multi use. So it goes off a certain number of times. And before the Phantom Troop decides that one of them should go through the portal and figure out what's going on there, we have the underbosses of the GU and the Cha'ar come by and be like, "Wait, we might be able to find out where their home base is if you just hear me out." And basically, the plan is that they're going to activate the trap while wearing a homing device, and that way they'll know exactly where they teleported to, so they won't have to fall into this trap in order to arrive at the Haley headquarters. And the way they do that is that they use Hinrig's ability to turn technology into animals and turns a transmitter into an oyster. And
Why an oyster out of everything else? I have no idea.
I don't know either. I guess it's a raw like thing you can eat, but you could have turned into a vegetable, I guess. Oh no, wait, he couldn't have. It's not an animal. I guess it's a raw animal you could eat and not die. But yeah. So they basically explained that like whoever decides to go through the portal will swallow this hole, and we'll basically have a transmitter inside of them. And once the person goes to the door, they'll immediately know where the room is on the boat, and they can go right to them. So Hinrig takes the bullet. He eats the oyster, steps through the portal, and arrives at the Haley headquarters where they arrived, where the Haley have teleported everyone to. He's like, "Wait, there's nobody here." And he looks around. There's fresh blood everywhere, but they must have interrogated all the ones who came before, and then realized that we were on our way. And in that particular moment, that's exactly when Nobunaga shows up, having used the homing device to figure out where he is exactly. Pretty cool. Oh, I think he goes to the portal as well. That's why he gets there so quickly.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He says he's going to join him.
Yeah. And he realizes that this isn't a setup, although Nobunaga never really thought that Henrik was setting him up, but he was like, I never thought that, but they did. That my boys thought that you were. So they told me to kill you if you came up talking about how you saw us coming or anything like that. Um, so we're cool. I'll learn your name now. By the way, and he's like, it's Henrik. He's like, sorry.
Yo,
He said,
he was so frank with him. Like, look, I didn't care to hear your name before, but you've been talking a lot of sense and a lot of gangster shit, and that's right up our alley.
Yeah. But yeah, that works. So basically, they're like, what should we do? And he's like, act. And yeah, Nobunaga does, looks for, along the walls. He notices that this is their home base, no doubt about it. Nobunaga tries to take some shots at the wall, but he does not make any cuts because the wall is protected by Nen. What kind of Nen, they don't know, but it could be a conjurer, transmuter, it could be a specialist. So it's hard to destroy, basically. So yeah, the only way out of this place is to start opening all of these doors. So Henrik volunteers to open up all the doors, and there's a shower room, a bathroom, 3 toilets, and 3 toilets basically. So
Not much else.
they don't know what's gonna happen, so they're like, all right, so Henrik is going to go through one of the doors, and he says, I'm sure you'll be able to defend the transmitter even if I die. And yeah, Henrik goes through the door, and that's where the chapter ends. Wow.
Just
Josh,
like that.
what did you think about Hunter x Hunter chapter 398?
So I was a little surprised that they cut directly from the past to now, but at the same time, the way they ended it seemed like a nice little divisional point from where they could come back to it now that they're older. You know what I'm saying? I think we got what we need to get for them in their young age. At that point where they were really small.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. I was cool. They showed Nobunaga a lot. And he even had him a Vagabond moment.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that means?
The
Somewhat. Not really. In particular, if you go to page 15,
mm-hmm.
you'll know which panel is the Vagabond moment.
I don't know.
Bottom left.
Just his face? Oh,
See how
because of his detailed
hair
face?
is? Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Is that not like Vagabond?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he decides to super hyper detail Nobunaga's face.
He looks like a Japanese man. That's Vagabond.
He does look like a Japanese man. I think that's by intent.
Right. So it's
Vagabond.
Vagabond, exactly.
Vagabond
moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a Vagabond moment, I guess. He does that a couple times this chapter where he hyper details Nobunaga's face.
No way. He does that more than once?
Maybe. There's one. All right, maybe you're right. Maybe he only does it once.
It's rare, bro.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's rare like Lil B.
Any other thoughts?
No. Brian, what are your thoughts on Hunter x Hunter, chapter 852?
This was my second.
Yeah.
Really, really close for me. What's the name of this fucking mafia guy? The one who... Henrik, he's so fucking cool.
He is.
I didn't expect to enjoy this mafia subplot so much, but it's really fucking cool to see the way the Phantom Troop interact with the outside world. And also, I want to say I called it. I predicted that the backstory would be paused.
Yeah,
after that
chapter.
Crazy.
I didn't expect it to be paused that abruptly.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I called it. I was like, you know what? things are getting a little too interesting. They're gonna pause it, and we're gonna keep pushing forward. And I was right, baby.
You were right.
I'm in tuned. I'm in tuned with this series. I know too
This
much.
is your One Piece.
This is my One Piece. I understand the Nen system better than anybody.
That's true. I don't understand
Not
it. That's for
better
sure.
than me. I
But,
understand them better than you, Brian.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. What is Nove's Nen affinity then, huh?
What the fuck does that have to do with knowing the Nen system?
Go ahead,
All
tell
you
me
need
what's
to
his
know
Nen
about
affinity?
Nen. All you
What's
need
his
to know
Nen
about
affinity,
Nen,
bro?
the only thing you had to know about Nen is that there's risk and reward. That's it.
Wow.
Anything can happen in this series.
Wow.
Nobunaga could summon a monster from his sword.
Oh, speaking
As
of,
long as he duct tapes his pinky and his and his ring finger together, and he says
actually
the
he's
alphabet backwards while he fights.
he's
Then he'll be able
he's
to do it.
a enhancer he's an enhancer in transmuters, so I don't think that's
Right.
possible.
But if he puts enough of a restriction on it,
I
He
mean,
can do
technically, I guess.
I have no
But
idea.
I think a lot of people have been saying that there are death flags here.
For who? Nobunaga?
For Nobunaga, yeah.
Damn.
People are
because they're
saying
showing his ability.
no, because of the situation that they put themselves in. They currently are inside the murder room, like the door that they open at the end there. That's the room where they chop up the bodies that they kill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this plan leaves a lot of space for them to be by themselves against and outnumbered for a pretty long time.
True.
Yeah.
Because they could be anywhere on the ship, and who knows how long it's going to take for them to get from point A to point B, you know?
Is it that Nobunaga's truly not scared, or is it more so that he's just ready to die? Is that what it is?
I think he's just not scared at all.
Nobunaga seems like he knows his shit when it comes to Nen, but
And fighting anybody in his
we
way?
just don't know his fucking like Nen technique.
Whatever,
so
it's
to
gonna be
speak.
better than whoever he's fighting against. Like, I guess so.
I would
I don't
say
know.
so.
It's
There you go.
the thing about the what is it, the Haley
Yeah.
or is it Char?
No, it's the Haley.
So the thing about the Haley is that even though
The
their Nen
psychopath?
techniques even though their Nen techniques aren't fully developed, they are growing at an exponential rate. And they all are kind of working their Nen abilities together, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So like they could the problem with them is that they could like Nobunaga could easily be the best Nen user in the room, but it's the combined strength of all these people's Nen abilities that's what makes them dangerous. So at the end of the day, it might not even matter how good Nobunaga is. These guys are cold-blooded killers. They're literal serial killers who have the coordination of a fucking small military, you know?
Yeah.
So it's dangerous. This is a really dangerous situation for them to be in.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens. I'm really interested to see because this might be the moment we actually get to see Nobunaga's Nen abilities, but it might be too little, too late. Honestly, is a really, really scary situation for them.
Yeah.
I have a rebuttal real quick.
Go for it.
I've realized this about, I don't know if this has happened in every arc, but there are just people in Hunter x Hunter. There's so many serial killers in this series. There's so many people who are just like, we're gonna just kill a bunch of people, whatever. You know,
Obvious solution. We kill everyone.
It is unprecedented in this arc. Like the amount, like the whole Haley, they're all insane.
Yeah.
I want everyone to be clear here that's listening and us three that's talking. People don't go on murdering sprees. It's very rare. Even psychopaths don't do that shit. There really aren't that many. Excuse me. There really aren't that many serial killers out there in the world. Even though Excuse me, damn, the soda keeps making me burp. Even though Law and Order and Criminal Minds and all these fucking shows will have you think that there's all these weirdos out there. It's really not. It's very small amount. So rare. But in Hunter x Hunter, this is where all the Criminal Minds villains come from. They all come from the world of Nen, and then they go to New York or they go to America, and they cause cases for the Criminal Minds cast to figure out and suss out and shit and find what are they, unsubs? That's what they call them.
unsubs.
Listen,
I watched way too much Criminal Minds. It's really
They're all
depressing.
I've never
unsubs.
seen Criminal Minds.
Every single one
You're
of
not
these
missing
niggas in
out.
the ALE, all unsubs.
You're not missing out.
It's not that the show's bad. It's just that it's just a constant fucking
It's bad
barrage of
because it's
depression.
propaganda, but I
It's
watched it
just-
too.
It's
It's
just
just
so sad. There's not a single season where there is a happy episode. Everything is just sad, murder, depression.
Damn.
At some point, like I didn't even finish the series. I got like to season 7. I was like, okay, so you're just gonna keep being sad, huh?
Yo, at some point in the series,
We're gonna
somebody's
take steps to
wife died,
improve, huh?
and that shit is dramatic, yo.
We're gonna get ourselves by our bootstraps and be less sad, huh? We're not just gonna get over it, swallow our feelings, huh?
Not only are good characters leaving,
Gotta work
but
harder.
also, but
You just
also
gotta
you're
get
getting
up.
more sad. Like, what is
Gotta
this?
gotta push it a little bit more. Gotta take it a little bit further than all the other guys.
Yeah.
You know, when these people say these things, I think they just like. You understand other people exist in the world. You can't be number one all the fucking time. Like that's
The
how
Rock
people
can.
talk. Like you have to be number one.
The
You
Rock
have to push.
The Rock gets up
Yeah.
at 4 a.m. every day to eat a whole bison.
Jocko Wilkins.
Who's Jocko Wilkins?
Is
he's
he
like a
European?
guy. No, he's like ex Navy SEAL who writes who like has a whole book about waking up before the enemy and working out
How do you know
Every
when
morning.
the enemy wakes up? How do you keep
because
track
he's
of
a
that?
Navy SEAL. Christian, were you listening or not?
Yeah, but how does he know?
He was a Navy SEAL. Oh my god, do I have to repeat
I guess
myself?
I guess his intel was that good.
Yo, they wake up at 3 a.m. Man.
He says,
This
"Up
guy,
before
I
the
don't trust
enemy."
anybody that wakes up that early on purpose. Like that's not for work or something.
Yeah.
Every morning he post at like 4 a.m. He posts like a black and white photo of himself after working out called
Mm.
Aftermath. Really hit the iron today.
Aftermath?
Feeling strong.
Yeah, after that.
Yikes.
It's like an 85-year-old man drenched in sweat.
Stop it. He's 85?
He's really. I'm over exaggerating,
That's
but he is
really
pretty
funny.
old.
He's 85.
Anyway, back to Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah. All right. I guess I'll get in my thoughts. I don't know if I think it'll be just like a lot more satisfying if the Phantom Troop just walk through this whole situation very easily. I think
It wouldn't. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all,
I
yo.
think there's a lot more entertainment value in watching them just bulldoze through these guys.
This
without
is
a
the
fucking
problem, though. If the reason why I say this is a little more interesting than we last thought is because if they just sent Phaeton, it's not a problem. It's literally not a problem. Nobody is going to be able to beat that guy.
Phaeton does
But
the
who?
son, right? That's his thing.
Huh? Yeah,
Who's
like he-
Phaeton again?
Phaeton's
the
the little
sh-
kid. That's with them.
the short guy with the hair.
Oh, he's the right.
He's a
right, the
literal nuke.
Troopsman.
Yeah,
Like the. He really, really, really doesn't care. I know.
No, nobody's going to be able to fuck with him. But the reason why they put Nobunaga here is
Yeah.
because he's a little bit of a question mark in this sense.
Yeah, at least narratively. I mean, they're all question marks technically to everyone on this boat.
But he's the only one who's cursed. I was going to say curse
Curse
technique.
technique, it's
Whose
close.
net ability we don't know.
It's similar. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna die here. Personally, I would like for them to just walk through the Haley, pretty easily.
Maybe this guy dies and then Nobunaga's like, oh, I guess I didn't have to remember your
Damn.
name. I bet it happens like that.
Damn, that's sad.
Nah, he's mad cool though. He really put himself out there and was like, "Don't worry, I'll tell." he went in there by himself, ready to die. He said, "Don't worry, if I die, y'all still be able to get the radio signal, so it's cool."
Yeah.
And I'm reading like, bro, how much you get paid to do this? What's your status?
He's the second in
I mean,
command.
Or is that's what it is? That's why he's willing to go that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just that. It's not just that. It's just that the Haley are such a fucking big threat that if
they have
somebody
to.
doesn't do it, then they're all kind of fucked.
The Haley is wilding right now, and they have to.
They have to nip this problem in the bud as fast as possible before it's too late.
Yo, when he landed in this dirty ass fucking room and got low immediately, he like that's what the show like. He's looking around at everything. Yo, this room is. These guys are literally unsubs. Like I said this already, but bro, they're just murdering people by the masses. Like they're fucking Eevee training in Pokemon or something. Like they're literally grinding for levels, murdering people.
Yeah.
All those people that got fucking teleported, do you see them anywhere?
No, they're dead.
No.
They chopped them up.
Why would they hang out in a place like this?
Because they're part of the crew. They're not in danger.
Well, I don't really have many thoughts. This was actually
Look at the floor.
yeah, the floor.
God forbid they mop.
Yeah, why are these serial killers so disgusting? Poor hygiene. This is the
Oh my
audience voted
God.
really good chapter of the week, by the way.
Certified RGC.
That was a good choice.
Certified RGC.
That was a good choice.
It was a pretty close one this week. Well, not really, actually. Never mind about that. It wasn't that close. One Piece was the only real contender for a while. But yeah, it's Hunter x Hunter was by far the best at 56% of the vote. Undead Unluck came in with a couple solid votes at the end there. But yeah, Hunter x Hunter did its thing as per usual. Great series. This was an enjoyable chapter. I'm excited to see what the fuck's gonna happen next because I have no idea. Hopefully Henrik lives. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
But
I doubt to.
yeah, I mean, who knows? But yeah,
He ate an oyster.
he did eat an oyster. All right. Well, that's all I gotta say about it. You guys ready to move onward?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Undead Unload. The walk.
Nice.
Thanks. This is Undead Unluck chapter 139, Meeting. Last we left off, fucking Fuko was playing this this game of catch up with Apocalypse, just denying quests left and right, adding a bunch of rules to the world, just so she could get to the one that she was waiting for the most.
And a bunch of years.
Yeah, a bunch of years, 20 years to be exact, I think. Until she reached the 2 missions of neutralize the UMA known as Autumn. The reward would be the addition of the 3rd seat, and to capture the negator known as Unavoidable, which will yield the reward of the artifact Remember. And the penalty of that is the addition of the UMA known as Tyrannosaurus. Goddamn, you're adding dinosaurs to the world if you fail.
Wow. What?
Not ideal.
Like they would appear now, or they
I think they would
appear
just
in
appear
the past
now.
so that you have fossil fuels and shit?
No, I think it would appear now, is what I'm guessing.
Okay.
Well, so yeah, that worked out. And Nico and Fuku go check out the lab that the scientists have been building for 20 years. And guess what? They did it. They managed to do it. Nico's like, oh my God, you guys did it. The bow guy is a lot older, obviously, because they jumped forward in time. And they explained that a lot of pretty much everybody in this facility, 10,000 personnel, are all orphans, or mostly orphans. So, they're all good folks, though. And Nico just wants to go and build stuff, but, they're trying to hold him back so, he can help Fuko. He's like, come on, Fuko has a plan. I know she does. And she's like, actually, I don't have a plan right now.
It said about that.
Yeah, basically the plan is to make a plan with everybody, to brainstorm together and think of the best plan they can think up. So first of all, uh, they start to consider which mission to take first. There's obviously the the neutralization of UMA Autumn, and the second quest is the capture of Unavoidable, who is the first guy they killed. I
Yo!
didn't even fucking remember.
Wow, finally, it's come full circle. That's
Yeah,
why we didn't know how he was.
yeah. So
He
the
got
idea,
smoked though.
yeah, the idea is to capture him alive so that they can get Remember, and once they have Remember, they'll be able to restore everybody's memories to the previous loop. Um, so they don't know what to do. They're trying to figure out which to take, but apparently at this point in time, the unavoidable negation has not transferred over to Void, the guy they're looking for. um, and basically they have to wait until the current holder of the unavoidable negation, named Mr. Kenji Yokezu of Saitama, Japan, to die and pass on his negation over to Void. Apparently this man is 98 years old, so they probably won't have to wait very long. And Nico's like, wait, couldn't we just like bring him over and our mission will be complete? He's like, no, we need Void's version of Unavoidable at all costs.
Mm.
So we have to wait for him to get his negation. So, the plan they figure that he's going to awaken his negation during his fight, his title defense at the end of the month. So the actual plan is to to go after Autumn first and then get Void after. So they're starting to think about like battle strategies as how to take down Autumn, because last time it took 6 negators to take it down. So
Yeah.
they'll have to do a little bit of game planning. So basically they're like, what about a chaff? Like something to put in between people so that like it can't touch us and turn us into books, because Autumn's ability is that if it touches you, it turns you into a book for some reason. And
Mm.
yeah, so they're trying to figure out what that could be possibly. And Fuko has an idea to use Gina and her negation, which is unchangeable. Obviously by nature, I don't think if Gina gets like touched by the book, she can't change because she's unchangeable. She can't change into a book.
Mm.
So she would be the best person to go up against Autumn, because she cannot be transformed into a book. So the whole plan now is Fuko plans to turn herself into a book and then use an artifact that allows people to enter the book, have Gina go into the book that Fuko becomes, and meet the Gina from the last loop. And that is apparently the key to defeating Autumn, is to meet with the Gina inside of Fuko's book. So yeah, they're like, oh, well, if you screw up though, then you'll be stuck as a book. But Gina brings up her determination, is like, I'll give it a try, boss. And yeah, they're like, cool. So they have a week to learn and to kind of like train and get ready for this mission. And they give it the code name Operation Metamorphol. And that's the end of the chapter. Josh, what did you think about Undead Unluck chapter 139?
Well, I really like that they introduced the idea of, you know what? Let me retract a little bit. I was already abundantly happy that they're going about this part of the series this way, where they're retracing their steps and trying to like, get back the negators and avert their tragedies. But the fact that she's forming the team in a different way, like it shows like, all right, we can do things differently. Like they took on Autumn, with a completely different team. And this girl was dead at the time, unchanged. So I just think that's really clever, and it makes no sense. I mean, it makes I'm tired, guys, and it makes so much sense. That she'd be like their secret weapon against Autumn, because Autumn was giving these niggas problems a few months ago. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah.
I remember
Definitely
that. They had a
shit.
whole. They had to have two whole arcs before they finished fighting Autumn.
Mhm.
The flashback arc that was very small, and then the fucking Andy arc with Fuko going back to his past that was pretty long.
Yeah.
And then they beat Autumn. So yeah, progress is being made.
Mhm.
I thought it was super cool to see Unchanged end up being the guy that we could not remember and we thought was forgotten forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was the first person they met, and they never really mentioned him again after that. So
Yeah.
I feel like we could be forgiven a little bit. But yeah, I really like this chapter a lot. I think what's really interesting about this loop concept is that they allow us to spend some time with characters that we didn't spend any time with, like unavoidable. Um, I think, and Gina as well, and tried to and like rotate the cast in a sense, even though we got rid of them in the previous run. So this was cool. I have a feeling this old man is probably going to play a bigger part than I thought, than we all think. I feel like
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, why does this man feel like he's just going to be the unavoidable they're looking for? I don't know. I feel like that's going to be a thing. I could be wrong. He could just die after they fight Autumn, and they'll get.
I think he is going to be important too.
Yeah, but I feel like he's just going to be a little important. Otherwise, why would they introduce him like this? Give him a whole design.
Well, they said well, it's probably to be funny, but they said they needed his version of it. They needed Void's unchange. I mean, Void's unavoid.
They needed the
I
boxer
don't know.
guy, not this old man.
Yeah, they need his specific version of it.
Yeah,
Maybe they express themselves differently.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like different interpretations for every negation, it looks like. Everybody uses it differently.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. But those are all my thoughts. I really liked it, and I'm interested to see how Gina steps up in this. Very very into it. But those are all my thoughts. Any rebuttals, Josh?
Nope.
All right. Well, that has been Undead Unluck, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram, Josh at JD_Cole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter, Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. He plays video games on Twitch sometimes at twitch.tv/It's Punchline. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram and on TikTok. You can email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. Get into it. We'd be excited to hear from you. Or you can comment under the video version of the podcast that we post wherever you listen. We post on YouTube. Comment on what you thought about the series, about any questions you have for us regarding the series, any feedback on the show. That would be nice. You could subscribe while you're at it. Give us a subscribe, give us a like, a share, and let us know that you like the show. It always feels good to know that the hard work is appreciated. If you prefer audio podcast, the audio version of the show usually goes up first because it's the easiest thing to get up there. But you can check us out on there, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review on all of the platforms if you listen, and that would be super sweet. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll be back next week. One Piece is going to be gone. I was about to say maybe we had the whole crew, but
I think Jujutsu is going to be off too, actually.
Black Clover is going to be off for sure.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking about. Okay, it was off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah.
Jujutsu is coming back this week. Black Clover is going to be
nice.
off for another week. And we won't have One Piece, which is unfortunate, but
we won't have Chainsaw either.
Yeah, we won't have. Well, whatever. Let's not talk about what we won't have, and maybe we'll have some monthlies. Anyway.
Right.
It's okay because anime enjoyers of Chainsaw Man will have it on Tuesday anyway.
Yeah, regardless.
Or
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
peace out. Thanks for listening, y'all.